Hi everyone, my name is Grace Vincent and I was part of Group E. Along with me in Group E were Destiny, Anra, and Margarita. And we all did little subtopics about our big topic, which is food deserts. So food deserts are a really big problem in the United States, and to be honest with you, I had no idea that there was such a thing as a food desert. Like, what the heck is that? And you'll learn all about what it is pretty soon in the next upcoming presentations. So, as far as food deserts go, they're a very big problem as far as nutrition and health goes. And honestly, I think there should be more awareness about food deserts in the United States because they are affecting a lot of people. And they're also not allowing people to grow and become better than they originally were. So we will first start out with me going over what a food desert is and how it operates. Alright, let's go over what a food desert is. So a food desert is an area that is usually low income and it's harder to gain nutritional food than it is to gain unhealthy food. So in these areas, it's easier to go down the block to a Taco Bell and pay like $5 to feed your family rather than going 10 miles down to Walmart or to the nearest grocery store and getting apples and produce and healthy food that's nutritionally better for you. And so in these areas of low income, it would just be easier after work, say, hey, let's just go to Taco Bell and we can feed everyone. We don't have a lot of money, and so let's just go there instead of going to Walmart and buying healthy food, which is more expensive. And it's really sad because a lot of families are in this situation where there is a McDonald's or a fast food restaurant down the street and it's just cheaper to get that and to spend less gas money and less time to prepare the food, and it's just a whole lot of a better option, it seems, in that last minute, but it's causing a lot of issues, as you will see later on. So next we're going to talk about when these food deserts started to come around, like when did this start to become an issue and a problem. So next will be Anra, and he'll be talking about when these food deserts started to emerge. Take it away, Anra.
Thank you, Grace. So yeah, when did food deserts emerge? Well, food deserts don't really have a set date on when they emerged in our world. From my research over the past couple of weeks and days, if I had to personally say a date of when they did emerge, I would say it's not more of a date, it's more of a year, and the year was 1919. An ordinary root beer stand would become America's first fast food restaurant. Now, food deserts, like Grace said, are a fast food that will have you choose them over healthy foods or etc. And that fast food restaurant that opened up in 1919 was known as the Root Beer Company A&W. That was over 100 years ago. And year after year, new restaurants would just open up over time. So whether it's the same company such as McDonald's, Burger King, they will open up a brand new chain like I said, every month, and it would be down the street. It's closer than your regular grocery store, such as me. I'm up in the Northeast Heights, and from here to Costco, there's about, I want to say 15 fast food restaurants between us. So the reason that these fast food restaurants such as A&W, why it made such a big impact over these past 100 years is because they make their prices cheaper than regular grocery stores, so that, like Grace said, low-income families or neighborhoods, that is more of in their budget to buy that fast food and those food desserts instead of, fruits and vegetables. And so when did food deserts emerge? It was 1919 here in America. Now here's my good friend Destiny to tell you more.
Hello everyone, Destiny here. So I'm going to talk to you about where are food deserts and how do they affect us. So first I'll talk to you about where are food deserts. So in order to know where they are, we must first know the exact characteristics of food deserts. So the USDA defines food deserts as a low-access community where at least 500 people or 33% of people in the place's census tract or their neighborhood is at least 1 mile or more outside of a supermarket or grocery store. So that means people have to be living within an area where a grocery store is no closer than a mile from their home. The USDA provides a map on their food security website, and this map will display, for an example, all the food deserts in the United States. Food deserts are located anywhere that meet this criteria. So in the United States, this map kind of displays the spread of food deserts across the nation. In the western part of the United States, they are larger and more spread out. In the eastern part of the United States, they were a lot tinier, but they are distributed more frequently. So basically, there are not many areas where there are absent of food deserts. This map kind of displays that food deserts are a huge problem because there is not one single state that does not have a food desert. So they are distributed pretty frequently throughout the whole United States, and they are very common and very abundant. And then next, how do they affect us? So first, there is a huge social inequality that goes along with food deserts. Food deserts are not distributed randomly. They are more focused on communities that are of low income or of minority populations. So therefore, that is a huge inequality issue, as they aren't as common in wealthier communities. And then, of course, they affect our health greatly and in a negative way. So food deserts could lead to chronic diseases. People who are located in a food desert are more likely to go down the street to their local fast food restaurant, pick up a really cheap meal that might not have all the nutrients they need. And because of that, that can over time lead to some chronic diseases, as they aren't getting the right nutrition. They are probably putting worse things in their body, but it is cheaper, and that is their only option. And then overall, in a more less severe state, they are just overall undernourished. So when you aren't getting the right nutrients you need, then right nutrients, you're going to be undernourished, and over time, that can lead to those chronic diseases. And then lastly, people who live in food deserts are also uneducated. A lot of times when people are in food deserts and eating the way they do, it's become a way of life, and that's what they know. So they may not know of the other nutritious and kind of healthy meals that are out there, or they might not know what they're eating is bad for them. And that's a huge issue, because they aren't able to know what they should be eating, therefore they think what they're eating is okay. And next we will have Margarita, who's going to talk to you about who benefits and who does not benefit from food deserts.
Thank you, Destiny, for that information on food deserts. My subtopic is who is affected and benefited by food deserts. In my research for my subtopic, it seems that food deserts affect more people that are living in poverty. Reason being that food deserts are limited, for example, fresh fruits and veggies. In my search, I found the reason this is because people living in poverty live far away, at least 1 to 10 miles or so from supermarkets, and live closer to corner stores. These corner stores being closer is selling junk food like packaged chips, candy, and sugary drinks like sodas and juice. Living in poverty also gives you more access to fast food restaurants. Fast food being cheaper than fruits and veggies or a salad. For example, if you go to McDonald's, they have the dollar menu. You can easily get a cheap $4 meal instead of an expensive $7 salad. Wendy's also has their famous 4 for $4, which also is cheaper than their costly salads coming out to $8. These food deserts cause so many diseases, one specific disease being diabetes caused by obesity. This disease and others cause death. People in poverty are highly affected by these foods. Wealthy people are benefited because they're able to shape and eat healthy to keep their bodies on a healthy diet. Eating healthy is costly. If you are wealthy, you can spend money on your health and what you put into your body. In my research, I found that If you live in poverty, you are affected more by these foods because you cannot consume as much as a wealthy person can. If you go to www.dosomething.org, you can find these facts on food deserts and also on other websites. Now, I understand that my research is a little bit the same as the rest of the groups, so I will work on that information. Thank you.
Thank you, Margarita, for all of that information. So, overall, each of our subtopics in our individual research have recognized food deserts as a huge and widespread issue. Also, throughout our individual research, we did arise at a common theme, and that is that food deserts are located in areas of low income, and that people who are in these areas of low income are more attracted to fast food restaurants and cheap corner stores than they are to large-scale grocery stores. And this is because people in low-income areas desire a meal that is quick, close, and cheap. Like Grace mentioned, someone who is of a low-income area is of course going to go and feed their family a cheap and quick meal from that Taco Bell right around the corner, rather than go twice as far to a Walmart. And this is because this is going to take less gas, less time, and ultimately it's going to save more money in the end. This issue between fast food restaurants and low-income communities could have been said to arise from the first fast food restaurant, as stated by UNRWA, which is going to be the A&W Root Beer Company. Since then, we've had fast food restaurants pop up dramatically and multiply over the years. Just from UNRWA's house to the nearest grocery store, which is Costco, there is about 15 fast food restaurants in between, so they are very easily accessible. These fast and quick meals, in the end, are not very good decisions because people who are in these low-income communities are negatively affected by these fast food restaurants. I talked a little bit about overall malnourishment as being one of the effects, as well as potential chronic diseases. I also talked a little bit about how food deserts arise a huge issue of social inequality. And this is because people who live in wealthy communities and people who live in low-income communities do not eat equivalent to one another. Margarita told us a little bit how people who live in wealthy communities benefit from food deserts because they have the means that provide them the choice of eating either at a fast food restaurant or a grocery store, whereas people who live in low-income communities don't really have that sort of freedom, because if you are living in a household of low income, your desire is to save money, and ultimately fast food restaurants are a very convenient way to do that. So I hope you all learned a lot from our presentation, and we all hope that you have one huge takeaway from all of our information, and that is that food deserts are a huge, widespread, and growing issue. So thank you all from Group E for listening to our presentation, and we all hope you enjoyed. Thank you.